Hey, if you enjoy We Have Concerns, you should check out our other shows, including I do a show about video games called DLC. You can find that at 5by5.tv/DLC, and another show about movies and TV called the Slash Filmcast. And you can find that at slashfilmcast.com. Take a second, check them out. Just dies without saying a word.
No, because it can't say any word. And that's part of the problem with Baby.
It's so stressful and leads to no sleep.
This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Ganata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
Anthony, we're doing it. We're finally doing it.
You start a lot of things like this, and I'm just going to let you know that I never know what you're talking about until you actually tell me. So when you say, we're doing it.
Yeah. You're on the page. You're on my page now.
No, that's what I'm trying to let you know.
It's a hook.
I don't know what you're saying.
Hooks the audience to understand, ooh, I should perk up because we're finally doing it.
Well, but they also see the title of the show.
And the description?
And the description. Well, nobody reads the description.
Well, they all read the titles,
I'm sorry,
Rob.
I'm sorry that nobody reads the descriptions.
The titles are great, though.
The titles are fine.
You acknowledge that.
Oh, I will say no, you're right. Because of the titles that you create, nobody knows what's going on when they go in.
Hey, the plan is working.
Yeah, that's the plan. So
okay.
tell me what have we done?
We are finding the Loch Ness Monster.
No, we're not, Jeff.
We're going to find it.
I can't believe that was what you were talking about.
Finally going to find it.
No.
It's
Jeff.
been in there, Nessie.
No.
Been swimming around waiting for us to find her.
That is incorrect.
And we haven't. You know why?
Not exist.
Haven't been using the technology yet.
Oh, I see. What was the technology? Now, we've had a lot of marine and oceanographic tracking technology for a very long time,
and
Jeff.
we've used them in the loch.
Yeah, and we didn't find anything.
Nope, nothing there.
Great. So,
actually, that's not true. We did find a monster in Loch Ness.
It was us.
It was a mechanical monster that was used to make a movie in the 40s.
Oh,
and we found it. It was at the bottom of the ocean using a lot of scanning technology. They were like, "Oh my god!" And it was metal, and we made it, and we dropped it in the ocean.
Yeah.
In the ocean,
we forgot that we left a monster in there.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh shit, a monster.
Yeah.
It's kind of a monster at the end of this book scenario.
It is.
We Grovered ourselves.
We did.
We Grovered ourselves real hard.
I love a good Grover.
What are we using now that we didn't use before?
DNA sampling.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, baby. Now we're going to find Nessie finally.
DNA of what? What?
Environmental DNA. This is eDNA, which is, I find to be a fascinating new field of study. eDNA is basically DNA that's just sloughed off of creatures constantly. Just everywhere.
It's dust.
It's
particles.
Right. It's feces, it's feathers, it's detritus of all kinds that just comes off of living creatures all the time.
Sure.
So what we can do is we can scrape that out of the water.
Sure.
And we can look at it.
Yeah.
And we can analyze all the different creatures that live in Loch Ness.
Great.
And find Nessie once and for all. Find the Loch Ness Monster once and for all based on her DNA, which we will obviously know because it won't be like any of the DNA of all the creatures in the loch.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're going to find it. Also, have they used this technology yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so they're just talking about it.
We're starting it. We're starting this. We're beginning it.
Who's we? You're using the royal we.
Me and my global team of scientists.
Yeah, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes. Yeah. We.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Just to catch you guys up on the Loch Ness Monster. I'm sure you've heard of the Loch Ness Monster, famous monster.
We've all heard of the Loch Ness Monster. Answer my question. Who's looking for the Loch Ness Monster? Who's using this technology?
A bunch of scientists. These are University of Otago in New Zealand.
Okay.
These are scientists that have decided that this is a good use of the technology.
They're drunk.
Here's the truth.
Bunch of drunk Kiwis.
Since you're pressing me so hard.
Bunch of drunk Kiwis looking for a free vacation.
The truth is, yeah. Let's leave New Zealand and go to fucking Scotland.
Hey, man. Hey.
It's dark and dank and cold. Look at these pictures.
Sometimes you just need more people around.
Does that guy look happy to you?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, he does.
He is half submerged in water.
You're thrown off by
miserable.
You're thrown off by large beards. You think everyone with a large beard is unhappy because it makes them
what are
look
they
meaner.
hiding? What are they hiding? Their face. Half their face they're hiding.
So
I'm going to come clean on this, Anthony, since you're pressing me so hard.
Yeah.
Here's the truth, and this is sort of the end of the story at the beginning, but since you're so adamant about it, we'll get there. They don't expect to find Nessie.
No, of course they don't.
This is one of those things where this is how you get funding.
Yep.
To do a thing you really want to do.
That's all I wanted to hear.
By pretending it's the thing that will get the headlines.
Yep.
We're going to find Loch Ness Monster. What they're really doing is using eDNA to sequence all the DNA in the loch and understand how wildlife gets to a closed system like that and what kinds of creatures reside there.
Yeah.
But there may also find Nessie.
Sure.
So let's get that funding.
Now, here's my question about stuff like this. We always find these teams of researchers that want to get funding, and in order to get funding, they take their study and they give it the grabbiest, silliest thing that they can do.
Yes.
But aren't they presenting it for funding to other research teams?
You'd think.
And academic organizations?
It turns out people with money are dumb.
I mean, but
people with money to give might not be too smart.
Because the people who are writing these grants come from organizations that write scientific grants. They must know that there's no Loch Ness Monster. They must know that there's no reason to fund something that's looking for the Loch Ness Monster. Why is this happening? Why happen?
Well, the exact quote is, while the prospect of looking for evidence of the Loch Ness Monster is the hook to this project, there is an extraordinary amount of new knowledge that we will gain from the work about organisms that inhabit Loch Ness. So they're upfront about it.
Yeah.
They're saying we're actually going to get a lot out of this. It's going to grab some headlines. Idiots on a podcast will talk about it. But they're not expecting to find the Loch Ness Monster. And
this is like your parents telling you that you can go to the Great American Cookie Company and they're going to get you a big cookie.
Uh-huh.
You want to go to the mall and get one of those big cookies?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you.
Great. Let's go to the mall. We'll get you one of those big cookies. We just have to get you a suit for your cousin's wedding first. So we're going to get you a suit. We're going to get you some shoes. We're going to get you a haircut.
Oh.
You kind of need new sheets in your room. So I'm going to have you pick out some sheets. And then we'll get you a cookie.
Well, I like that cookie part.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is there really even a cookie place in the mall?
Malls are basically just barren wastelands now, except for the department stores. It's a real dice roll as to whether anything is still in that food court.
So you're saying we could or could not find a cookie?
I saw 3 wild dogs running around in the mall outside of the Macy's. Once you leave the Macy's, you don't know what you're going to find in a local mall. But I do know that there was a Great American Cookie Company there. I saw it once.
So let's talk about the history of the Loch Ness Monster, because that belies this study even further.
All right, if we're going to talk about the Loch Ness Monster, I'm going to have to take off my sweater.
Good, finally. Let's get comfortable. Talk about Nessie. Just get messy and talk about Nessie. That's what I like to say.
It's getting cryptozoologically hot in here.
So take off
your outer layer of clothes.
Keep that inner layer on, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the most famous photo of the Loch Ness Monster, the one you will immediately think of if you know anything about Loch Ness Monster.
Black and white one, a little blurry. It's very small in the center of the photo.
Yep.
Just the back hump and then the head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Taken in 1934, was revealed 60 years later to have been a hoax that used a sea monster model attached to a toy submarine.
Surely not.
Have you ever heard that little tidbit? A fact? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that, but I knew that.
So why are we still talking about the Loch Ness Monster?
Well, in this case, because you brought it up.
Well, yes, but literally everything after that bit of data should just invalidate the discussion.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something about the spread of accurate data versus the spread of inaccurate data, Jeff. You may see this if you want to see it in your everyday life. You can just I don't know, go to the Twitter search field and look up Soros, just SOROS.
Yeah.
And then see what happens. See what you find.
He's a demon that burns money at the stake for your tears.
Yeah. He was also definitely a Nazi collaborator, even though he was 9 years old at the time. Just because he looks like Emperor Palpatine doesn't mean he's 300 years old, you guys. So I'm just saying, we know. It's that Mark Twain quote, right? A lie will travel around the world.
Right. 3 times by the time the truth gets to
but fool me twice.
Yeah.
Shame on. I know Mark Twain.
It's that thing where Mark
very
Twain
well.
is like, people are going to misquote me constantly.
It's that thing where Mark Twain is like, dance like no one's watching.
Yeah.
In this house, we do hugs. Fly like an eagle.
I love his first album.
And then he ends with, I'm Mark Twain.
This is Mark Twain. Peace out. # me too.
Twain out.
The very next sentence after it was revealed 60 years ago to have been a hoax, the very next sentence in this article.
I just want to do something really quick, Jeff, because it's super important.
What?
Don't add us about George Soros.
Yeah.
Do not. Under any I'm deadly serious about this.
Yeah, we don't.
I don't care if
tweets.
it's even to agree with me. I will block you. I don't want to hear anybody's opinions on anything politically ever. Go on.
All right, fair enough. The next sentence after it was revealed to have been a hoax in this article, which, by the way, was sent to us by Alik the Golfer Evans. We should give a shout out to Alik. He's always
golfing,
great. By
the way, started in Scotland. It ties this whole thing together.
It's follow the money.
Follow the money. He's the George Soros of stories. He is. I'm sorry, Alik. I shouldn't have said that.
George Storios.
Nope.
Okay. The very next sentence, boy, I've been teasing this next sentence for a while now.
Yeah.
The very next
I wonder
sentence,
what it's going to be.
After
I've been thinking about this sentence since you first brought it up over 45 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering,
what could it be?
What will the sentence be? How will this article turn?
Stay tuned.
What is the pivot? And I'm sure everyone listening is wondering too. And so now
it was revealed to be a hoax.
With
the next sentence is countless and
I can't believe you interrupted me.
God damn it.
I cannot believe that is super rude.
Come on.
All right.
It was a hoax. Next sentence, countless unsuccessful attempts to track down the monster have been made in the years since.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
People saw a fake photo and they didn't care about the truth.
Countless attempts to find out that hoax was actually real.
Let me tell you something, Jeff. If somebody told me tomorrow, get on a plane, we're going to go look for the Loch Ness Monster, I'd be like, all right, fuck yeah, let's do it.
you just love plane rides,
If you have the plane, I'll go.
You're just a fan of plane rides.
I'm a fan of everything.
And I'm a
fan of
Scottish golfing.
I'm a fan of any dumb trip for any dumb reason.
Yeah. So you made a career out of it.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. If
it was like early 1900s, I would probably be an Egyptologist, much to my chagrin and the chagrin of my descendants. Just because people would be like, "We're going to look for treasure." I'd be like, "Fucking sweet, let's go look for treasure."
I love trips.
I bet there's no treasure there. Let's go.
In 2003, the BBC funded an extensive scientific search that used 600 sonar beams and satellite tracking.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would they do that? We already knew.
I don't know.
To make a TV.
It was a hoax.
Did they make a TV show out of it? It was the BBC,
probably.
Right?
It was probably. That's the first appearance of Poirot. That's the Poirot series.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about Hercule Poirot?
Hercule Poirot.
Is this like the baby version?
Yeah. Itty bitty Poirot.
10 widowist Indians.
I'd want to solve the case, please.
Played by baby Kenneth Branagh.
You know the weirdest thing about baby Poirot is his little baby mustache.
His little baby
majestic.
mustache.
It's still huge on his face.
He has just one little like Charlie Brown style baby curl that pops off his head, but then he has a full mustache.
Well, then later in the series, you realize it was just a pacifier the whole time. He takes it off. The mustache just comes right off. It's like, oh, that was a pacifier.
Hey, do you want to know what my brain's doing right now? Are you ready for this?
Writing baby Poirot episodes?
Yes, but my brain was doing this thing where it would not let me access the name Agatha Christie until I went through
all the
Angela Lansbury 100 times.
Oh, nice.
I had to punch up against Angela Lansbury's Murder, She Wrote in my brain 100 times because I was like, that lady that writes the murder mysteries invented Hercule Poirot. And my brain was like, Angela Lansbury, Jessica Fletcher. And I was like, no, brain. No.
Yeah, in your defense,
the real author brain.
In your defense, Angela Lansbury and Agatha Christie, not too far apart.
I mean, she was basically a TV version of Agatha Christie.
Is that so?
I mean, basically, yeah.
Well, did Agatha Christie solve mysteries in her real life?
The idea was
Are you saying that Agatha Christie was
Agatha Christie would draw a pencil-thin mustache onto her face, put on a bowler hat, and pretend to be Hercule Poirot.
Right.
She's real. Hercule Poirot is real. Sherlock Holmes is real. Don't at me about Sherlock Holmes or George Soros.
So, for some reason, the BBC decided they needed 600 sonar beams to sweep the length of the loch in 2003. They found that previously mentioned drone monster thing. Then that's not enough. We got to go eDNA. We got to go eDNA in this motherfucker because we still haven't found the Nessie.
I wonder. Here's the other thing I wonder, Jeff.
What do you wonder?
This is something that we've brought up before, and more I think it's true. I don't think that this team of researchers put Loch Ness Monster in their proposal at all. I don't think the people who wrote them the grant put it in their proposal at all. I think there's somebody in PR and press for this organization that's like, this is an easy hook. This is an easy hook to get people
to notice,
to care about your study.
Right.
I think it's marketing.
It's all
science
just
marketing.
The liberal media.
It's the liberal media. It's run by George Soros.
Right.
And Agatha Christie.
But
Agatha Christie is alive.
Yeah. You wouldn't know it because she's wearing a pencil thin mustache.
She is alive and hiding out.
The interesting science part of this story is the eDNA.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fascinating how we can not only find specific, basically what happens is they take the water, they sweep it for DNA samples, which is going to be a whole bunch of stuff from a whole bunch of creatures. And then they're able to use little sequences that we've mapped to specific creatures and test it against that thing. So it's sort of like in a Murder, She Wrote episode.
Yeah.
You know? Remember the one where she got those virtual reality goggles?
Uh-huh. I remember the GIF.
Yeah. And she and you could compare the fingerprints to the like partial fingerprint, and it's like
yeah.
It's like constantly matching, and then it matches the like percentage of them.
Is that what was going on in that GIF?
Yeah, that's what Jessica Fletcher was doing, man.
Really?
In virtual reality.
I had no idea. I knew she was wearing virtual reality goggles, but I had no idea why.
I mean, I'm making that up.
I figured it was a diagnosis murder crossover because Dick Van Dyke is into that shit.
He's into the VR?
He's into Dick Van Dyke. This is a total digression, and I'm not going to do the whole thing, but Dick Van Dyke actually would do some of the CG and special effects and 3D modeling for Diagnosis Murder because they didn't have the money to do it. And so
that
Dick Van Dyke,
true.
Look it up. Dick Van Dyke taught himself Cinema 4D and learned to do 3D animation.
Is there anything Dick Van Dyke can't do?
No, Dick Van Dyke fucking rules.
He's a quadruple threat. Sing, dance, act, special effects.
Yeah, that's it. VFX is the fourth one.
Unbelievable.
Sort of like a real life Hercule Poirot.
Yeah.
Which is different than the actual real life Hercule Poirot, who is a real man.
Woman. Disguised as a man.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
It's
But I do like this eDNA thing because to me, more than anything, it proves how far we've gone in our technology that allows us to get a sample and sequence a sample of DNA.
Yeah.
The ability to do that without any contamination from the rest of the junk in the ecosystem. You think about the microbes, the particles, the mineral content of like these lakes and of loch, sorry.
Yeah.
There's a difference, but I don't know what it is. You can at me about what the difference between a lake and a loch is besides accent.
It's Scottish.
Yeah. But the idea that we can pull multiple clean DNA samples from this now and run it up against a database is kind of amazing.
It's wild. And so much of the DNA they say is shared between species that we're able to actually find a piece that goes, okay, that's for that specific creature. So we can have a general sense of the kinds of specific kind of bird or frog or tadpole.
I just wish there was a cool headline, a way to write a cool headline about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Looking for Loch Ness, baby.
Yeah, looking for the Loch Ness Monster, I guess. Whatever gets people to learn about eDNA.
But if we find it, it'll be cool, right?
What, eDNA? I think it's there.
I think if we find Nessie and she's like...
There is no Nessie.
I was waiting here the whole time.
Here are the things that you can add us about this week.
We should do this in more episodes.
There are things that you cannot add us about, but there are things that you can add us about. Here are the things you can add us about this week. Number 1, the Loch Ness Monster. Number 2, Jessica Fletcher in your favorite episodes of Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, yeah, please.
Number 3, True Tales of Dick Van Dyke. That's it. Those 3 things.
Yeah.
Things that you cannot add us about this week. George Soros. Yeah, that's it. George Soros. You can just add, I'm going to say it this week, but imagine it's every week.
Yeah. Ironically, the hashtag this week is going to be
George Soros. So please only tweet me about the Loch Ness Monster and like how cool the Loch Ness Monster is.
Yeah.
But hashtag it's Soros. Because you know what? Fuck all these people. And let's fill their fucking hashtag with cool tales about the Loch Ness Monster and Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah. I like it.
That's my political platform. I'm at A. Carboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And just only at me about those things.
Thanks for listening to our TED Talk.